Hello and welcome to History Stories. I'm Dr. Megan Easley-Walsh. As an author, writing consultant, and scholar, my life is full of history and stories. Living in Ireland, my life is also full of historical sites, and I see connections to my stories and characters all over this country, as places I visit remind me of my novels. Today, we're talking about beautiful surroundings and my novel, Across the River. Across the River takes place in Georgian England, or at least it begins there. Along the way, the expanding British Empire is visited via the Caribbean and even into the fledgling American colonies, just beginning to seek their independence. Ireland was also ruled by the British Georgians. Inspired by the American Revolution and the French Revolution, in 1798, Ireland attempted to gain its own independence from Britain. That would eventually be achieved in the 20th century, beginning with the 1916 Easter Rising. Wars and revolutions and even independence aside, what that means is that Ireland is flooded with Georgian architecture, including many stately homes like the one that Rebecca in Across the River would have lived in as the daughter of a wealthy lord. There are several Georgian houses worth visiting in Ireland. As a bonus feature, many have manicured grounds, and some even have a walled garden that you can visit as well. One Georgian house that may look familiar to you because it was used in movie sets, including films for Hallmark, is Rusborough House in County Wicklow, on the border near County Kildare. Rusborough is nestled beside the lakes of Blessington, and it's easy to imagine a carriage rolling up to the doors where the statues await. Inside, sumptuous decorations and intricate architecture can be found. Last autumn, there was a harp festival in Rusborough, and I was even invited to pluck a few strings on a harp. A couple of years ago, I was at Rusborough in the days just before Christmas, and the setting was all the more magical, festooned with greenery, trees, and candles. And Across the River, Rebecca stepped away from her life of luxury in hopes of seeking her freedom, a life of her own choosing, and following what made her heart sing. In a way, she is the embodiment of what happened in the American Revolution, when English subjects asserted their right to their own independence and self-determination. On this side of the Atlantic, where Ireland has also won that independence, I am grateful to be able to step through the doors where history is preserved, and where, if you listen very carefully, you can hear the rustle of skirts and the footsteps of the past. Here's more about Across the River. They must prove the strength of their love or die in a plot of deception and revenge. Rebecca Charrington is desperate to have some control over her life. As the daughter of an English lord in 1774, she's supposed to be an obedient daughter awaiting a suitable husband. She's most definitely not supposed to be sneaking out at night, hiding the family silver, or pursuing a relationship full of passion. Caleb might be a lowly cabinet maker, but his love for Rebecca is fierce. No one is going to stand in their way. But when a fire ravishes Rebecca's home and a mysterious hooded figure kidnaps Rebecca, Caleb will be forced to keep an unspoken promise, following Rebecca to the ends of the earth. Mystery sweeps the countryside as Rebecca and Caleb become the targets of a secret society. Hundreds have gone missing. As both sides of the Atlantic mount an increasing tensions, is anyone safe? Rebecca and Caleb must uncover the truth and find their way back to each other, or their world will shatter and they'll be caught in the crossfire. As is tradition for this season, we'll end with a beginning. Here's the opening of Across the River. There is no life and death. There is only life. Death is an illusion, an appearance, nothing more. It is a fleeting shade that disappears in the light of truth. And life is constant, ever flowing like a river. The English Countryside, Summer, 1774. Rebecca's head rested against his chest as Caleb lay with her beneath the star-strewn sky. The afternoon's rain had dampened the grass, but the ground was not muddied. Rich earthiness whispered against his nose, but he was drowned by the scent of Rebecca. Clasping her hand with his, she leaned over him. Her cheeks, rosy from the coolness of the night, danced merrily under her eyes. "Come away with me," Rebecca said. He knew that look. "Come away with you?" She nodded, the stars conspiring with her to more intensely highlight her beauty. "I could not bear to marry another, and they are so intent on promising me to someone else." She knew what she was doing. Merely hearing her words had cast a dagger into his heart, though he knew she had not meant to be cruel. Rebecca only meant to use the truth to make her proposition irresistible to him. "Caleb, I could not bear to be with another man." The softness of her skin as she held his hand stood as a reminder of the sweetness in his memory, when there had been more than "Come away with me," she repeated. Caleb swallowed. Oh, how he wanted to indulge her. It was all he could do to keep from agreeing, but he had to be practical. One of them did. What would we live off of? Our love. She was not so naive to think this the only necessity, but she knew the power of her charm on him, and she was determined to get her way. "And how shall I pay for food when you are hungry?" She said nothing for a moment. He wasn't supposed to object. "Those silver plates, the one my mother is forever having polished." There wasn't a servant for miles that didn't dread the thought of Rebecca's mother's plates. "Your mother would never part with them. Then I shall have to take them." "Your plan is to steal the plates?" "It can hardly be called stealing if I'm taking my own inheritance." Caleb put his hands behind his head, forgetting he was supposed to be applying practicality, and now only concerned with watching her loveliness as her mind raced forward. Yes, that's it. I shall hide them in the river," Rebecca said. "In the river? Whatever for?" "You ask too many questions," she said, leaning into him. Her lips brushed against Caleb's to silence him. Rebecca might have shooed away Caleb's questions, but across the river seeks to find the answers about independence, self-determination, and the ties of family. In Season 1, Episode 4, I shared with you a story from my family heritage that influenced a scene in Across the River. That scene involved hiding plates in the river. In that episode, I also explored Shakespeare's connections to Across the River. Perhaps you'd like to listen to it if you haven't done so already. Until next time, happy reading! I look forward to joining you in the next episode of History Stories.